From robbery to murder, a disgraced former city detective testifies about corruption on the police force. But his revelations extend beyond the two officers on trial in a gun unit scandal. He now says murder detective Sean Suiter was stealing money on the job a decade ago. WJZ investigator Mike Halgren is live at the federal courthouse to break it all down. Mike?
Denise, Suiter's killing has never been solved. A lot of people believe there's a connection to the case currently on trial, that perhaps Suiter knew too much. Well, all Detective Mamadou Gondo would say on the stand today is that Suiter stole from people in the past. A major development from the witness stand, where former Baltimore City Police Detective Mamadou Gondo made a stunning admission. He says Detective Sean Suiter stole money when the two worked together in a specialized enforcement unit a decade ago. Suiter was killed last November, a day before his scheduled testimony before a grand jury about police corruption.
How can it be possible that Detective Suiter was shot and killed on the eve of his grand jury testimony, and for that murder not to have anything to do with the grand jury testimony? And people have said, is that possible? And the answer is, of course it's possible.
Detective Gondo's theft allegations about Suiter do not involve the gun trace task force. Two of the GTTF's members are on trial right now for robbery and overtime fraud.
Are you going to continue to lie to me?
But there's a second connection between Suiter and the GTTF. Its leader, Sergeant Wayne Jenkins. Prosecutors allege Jenkins planted drugs on two men in 2010, unbeknownst to Suiter, and let Suiter find them. The case sent the men to prison, and they were later released.
It's going to be very difficult for people to know which officers they can trust and which ones are dirty.
But Gondo's revelations went far beyond Suiter. He even alleged fellow Gun Trace Task Force Detective Jamel Rayam murdered someone during a traffic stop. F it, I just didn't want to chase him, he recalled Rayam saying, and he says Rayam was coached by police higher-ups to lie about it. Through it all, Gondo said he never worried about getting caught by internal affairs. And Gondo testified that Sergeant Jenkins was so well connected to the command staff he feared he'd be blackballed if he ever complained. The prosecution is very close to wrapping up its case. Live at the federal courthouse, Mike Halgren, WJZ.
All right, thank you, Mike. Gondo also said he sometimes turned off his body camera. He admitted selling drugs and a gun and committing crimes with a childhood friend who is a heroin dealer.